Yeah, good morning, students. Am I audible to everyone over here? Am I audible? Okay. So I hope everyone is in good health. Everyone is safe at wherever they are. Let us start with today's lecture on current affairs. So before starting it, once again, I would like to tell you what actually is the requirement of current affairs and why do we need to study and how do we need to study. So first, the fundamental concepts of current affairs should be very much clear. Key. Why? Because the question that are coming, even if you talk about the prelims perspective, the mains perspective, and the interview perspective. So whatever they are asking you the basic concepts regarding the current affairs. So यहाँ पे आपको ये important हो जाता है कि whenever the issue is arising, what is the background related to that, that should be very much clear regarding that particular topic. For example, you take regarding the government has brought any amendments, any notification regarding ethanol blending. Now they have increased the ethanol blending percentage. So what is ethanol? Why? How it is blended? Then what are the materials which are used for ethanol blending? What are biofuels? So these fundamental things should be very much clear when you're reading. Just do not read the news which are sensational in the current. ठीक है. So ये वाला approach आपने रखना जरूरी है. With respect to prelims, it becomes very much important to understand this basics concept. बेसिक कॉन्सेप्ट समझना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है. रिगार्डिंग मेन एग्जामिनेशन पर्सपेक्टिव, जब आपका मेन एग्जामिनेशन पर्सपेक्टिव आप पढ़ते हो करंट अफेयर, सो मेन एग्जामिनेशन में it becomes important that you analyze that particular topic. For example, there is a terrorist attack in a particular area. So आपकी thinking इस level पे जानी चाहिए कि what if I am at a particular with an organization and how would I help to reduce this conflict between the two groups that is going on. ठीक है. या फिर आपको ये इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाता है कि व्हाट इज द इम्प्लीकेशन ऑफ व्हाट इज गोइंग ऑफ द पर्टिकुलर इंसिडेंट दैट इज गोइंग ऑन इंडिया, because you have a topic in general in GS3, in paper GS3, right? Paper GS2 you have a topic कि डेवलप नेशंस के पॉलिसीज जो है उनका इम्पैक्ट, what is the impact on India, right? So this way you have to build your study around the current affairs. Understood? So now let us move on to some of the important topic which have been coming up during this week. So Atlantic Charter. So what do you understand by I want a two-way communication in this lecture. So whatever question I will be raising, I suppose you should be able to at least communicate in whatever knowledge you have regarding that topic. Okay. So Atlantic Charter was in news. So this is related to world history. Now what do any idea from anyone कि क्या होगा ये Atlantic Charter, क्यों आता है? Yeah. Okay. So Atlantic Charter. So why this wasn't news first? पहले तो हम ये लोग देख रहे थे. See, the president of United States, that is Joe Biden, and British Prime Minister Boris Johnson. Recently, what they did was they inspected this document, various document related to Atlantic Charter. Okay. Now, the Now, this charter is related to a declaration signed by the then Prime Minister Winston Churchill and the President of United States, that is Franklin Roosevelt. ठीक है, और ये कब साइन हुआ था? 1941 में। ठीक है, नाउ अगेन दिस अटलांटिक चार्टर जो है अभी न्यूज में है, बिकॉज दिस अगेन द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ द रिस्पेक्टिव कंट्रीज, दैट इज यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स एंड यूनाइटेड किंगडम, दैट इज ब्रिटेन, इन्होंने वापस से उसको इंस्पेक्शन किया है. सो दैट इज व्हाई इट इज इन न्यूज दिस ईयर. नाउ what was the Atlantic Charter related? So 1941 में this two countries के जो leaders है उन्होंने ये charter लाया था. Now what was the objective behind that Atlantic Charter at that time? So basically Atlantic Charter was a joint declaration किसके बीच में? United States and UK. ठीक है, so it was issued during the World War II. ड्यूरिंग द वर्ल्ड वॉर सेकेंड, कि पोस्ट वॉर के बाद आपका व्हाट विल बी द विजन ऑफ द वर्ल्ड इन फ्रंट ऑफ ऑल द कंट्रीज. ठीक है, इन फ्रंट ऑफ ऑल द कंट्रीज. नाउ इट वाज फर्स्ट अनाउंस्ड ऑन 14th ऑफ अगस्त 1941, कि 14th ऑफ अगस्त 1941 को इन्होंने अनाउंस किया ये, वेर मेनी कंट्रीज प्लेज टू अलाइन विद दिस चार्टर, alive with this charter. Now, this charter, if you consider this charter, ये charter बना the basis of the formation and the various principles of United Nations. This charter became the basis of United Nations. ठीक है. Now, what was the main agenda, major points among this? So, major points were a nation's right to choose its own government, easing of trade restrictions, and plea for disarmament. ठीक है. नाउ इट इज कंसिडर कि यूनाइटेड नेशन जो फॉर्म हुआ बाद में, उसका ये फंडामेंटल डॉक्यूमेंट बना ये. ठीक है. नाउ इफ यू कंसिडर दिस, इफ यू कंसिडर द various principles of Atlantic Charter, so we can see that. So let us see the various principles of Atlantic Charter. Now, United States and Britain agreed not to seek territorial gains from the post-war, and they opposed any territorial changes made against the wishes of the people. Uh, to support the restoration of self-government to the nations who had lost it during the war. यानी कि अगर आप देखोगे कि what are the common principles on which this Atlantic Charter is made, it is recognition of their independence after the war. तो this forms the basis of decolonization also, कि decolonization जो start होता है after, no, basically decolonization if you consider it already started from 17, कहाँ से स्टार्ट होता है? 1776, राइट, व्हेन अमेरिकन वॉर ऑफ इंडिपेंडेंस जब होता है, वहीं से हम लोग डीकोलोनाइजेशन का प्रोसेस स्टार्ट करते हैं. लेकिन द basis for decolonization after the post war, that is the World War II, and which was pushed by the Atlantic Charter. So this also became the fundamental document for decolonization. कौन सा? Atlantic Charter. ठीक है. सो फर्स्ट इज कि इट दैट नो नेशन विल सीक टेरिटोरियल गेन्स आफ्टर पोस्ट वॉर, ये था उसका फर्स्ट प्रिंसिपल. सेकेंड था कि रिस्टोरेशन ऑफ सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट ऑफ दिस नेशन, दैट दिस चार्टर विल बी द बेसिस फॉर हेल्पिंग द नेशंस टू रिस्टोर देयर सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट. ठीक है. एंड कैसे सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट? दैट पीपल शुड हैव अ चॉइस टू चूज बिटवीन देम, कि लोगों के पास चॉइस हो उनका खुद का गवर्नमेंट फॉर्म करने के लिए. ठीक है. एंड दिस चार्टर विल आल्सो हेल्प इन द इकोनॉमिक प्रॉस्पेरिटी ऑफ दिस नेशन, of these nations or countries. And how this they will help this? By improved labor standard, economic advancement and social securities. तो इन सारे नेशन को सोशल सिक्योरिटी दे के दे दिस कंट्रीज, दिस नेशंस विल हेल्प देम. ठीक है. यस. एनी क्वेश्चन, कांची? Just let me complete. I will reduction of trade restriction. Yes. Yeah. Again, the main emphasis of this charter was also on establishment of peace. ठीक है कि peace होना चाहिए around land also and sea also. ठीक है. Then no use of force should be there among other nations also. No use of force should be there. So this forms the basis of the United Nations. क्योंकि United Nations का जब see after the जब Atlantic just a minute. Yeah. So Atlantic Charter जब इन्होंने like when they had given the Atlantic Charter and they told that these are the common principles कि after the war there will be no force by any nation on any other nation for territorial gains. For territorial gains के लिए कहीं भी you will not uh, you will not be engaged for in territorial gains, and other nations will help in economic and social prosperity of this nation. Economic and social prosperity of this nation के लिए आप सब मदद करोगे, and that there should be peace in the ocean as well as land around these nations. ठीक है. So this Atlantic Charter became the basis of United Nations. United Nations में, and when was the United Nations formed? When was the
In
United Nations
1945.
formed? 1945.
1945.
Yes, Alok. Yeah, 1945. It became the. Abhi, my question to everyone is: now that you have the Atlantic Charter, now there is a revision of this Atlantic Charter. You also have in place the United Nations. United Nations के भी कुछ goals है, कुछ objectives है, right? And we have seen that United Nations के जब से बना है तब से World War हुआ नहीं है. So, uh, do you think that United Nation के जो objective है, did United Nations succeed in maintaining its objective? That is my question to you. See, because Atlantic Charter के ऊपर आपको directly question नहीं आएगा. If the question is there on Atlantic Charter, the question will be, for example, the Atlantic Charter, which is in news, is related to which of the following concept? You can, the options may be 1941 between Roosevelt and Churchill, between they can say after the Berlin Conference it happened, it is related to the security of the oceans. So what is the answer regarding to maintaining a peace around the world by helping these nations after the post-war? Okay, so that is the answer between Roosevelt and Churchill. So this became the basis of United Nations also. This became the basis for decolonization also. So अगर कोई question आपको in future आता है regarding decolonization, so you can write that Atlantic Charter formed the base of decolonization. Now my question to you is, uh, that though the World War did not happen after the United formation of United Nations in 1945, uh, still many conflicts have been arising around the globe. So, do you think that United Nations has succeeded in its objective? My question to you is regarding United Nations. United Nations and its success in its objective. Somebody has this written partially, to an extent yes, to an extent no. You cannot write to an extent yes and to an extent no in process, right? Up to quite extent somebody has written. Okay.
Sir,
Yes, tell me.
sir, but we cannot say exactly yes or no also, sir, at some extent.
Okay, but you should not use the word such as some to some extent. You should write that the major objective of preventing war at world level was there, but the its objective of maintaining peace and collective security, that was not
Yes.
achieved. Okay? Then you can
Yes.
write many of the things uh, that are there in news from the last 20-30 years, such as Vietnam War, right? इनका अगर फेलियर ऑफ यूनाइटेड नेशंस कैन बी, अगर आपने आपको लिखना है, सो व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट events which can be included in your answer. One is the Vietnam invasion by United States, right? So we can cite cases for both sides of the arguments, I guess. Yes, Janvi, you can cite various examples. So Vietnam invasion is one. Second is the Gulf War. Yes, very nice. Gulf War. Third is the Iraq War. ठीक है. Afghanistan. Issue of Afghanistan. Palestine crisis. Yes, which is still arising. Palestine crisis. Yes. हाँ, तो ये वाले जो है ये आप लिख सकते हो. All this you can write in your examination. ठीक है. Yeah, Suez Canal crisis.
Sir,
But oh, yes, yes, Priya.
can we write about the Kashmir issue, sir, here?
No, Kashmir issue, no, because it was now we that issue we have already told from starting only that we will resolve it bilaterally.
Yes, sir, but earlier during Jawaharlal Nehru time, it was means
See,
in the
invasion
UN
is
it was
something that
discussed.
is a that is, yeah, but it is still criticized. You know, it is still actually criticized that the step taken by Jawaharlal Nehru, was it a right step or not, regarding approaching to the United Nations. See, these are border issues, right? Border issues, and it can be resolved through peace and through peace also. ठीक है. Cold War, which Cold War, see, escalation of Cold War, before Cold War wasn't a phenomena which started before, after the formation of the United Nations. Cold War was a phenomena which started from lot earlier. Okay, lot earlier. If you go towards 1917, if you go towards 1917, revolution of Russia, Cold War phenomena actually started from there. And in when you see that 1920s, 1930s जब आता है, तो 1930s में when Hitler is in power, why does the appeasement policy starts? जब when this England and France appeasement policy क्यों start करती है? Why do they start appeasing Hitler? To stop communism. Yes, very nice. To stop communism. See, this was the time in 1930s that communism had started to, take a peak. Okay, that was growing very fast. Communism, the ideology of communism, whether it's political ideology, you have economical ideology, that was on the rise. So अगर इसे रोकना है, तो this capitalist countries which USA, Britain, France, what they believed in, that Hitler, that we have to make Germany strong. हमको Germany strong बनाना होगा. Why? Because in order to stop the flow of communism through the Europe. So this was the idea that was growing in Europe at that time. Yeah. So to stop communism. So yeah, where were we? So after the यूनाइटेड नेशंस फॉर्म, उसके पहले ही कम्युनिज्म का ग्रोथ हो चुका था. सो यू कैन नॉट सी दैट द कोल्ड वॉर वाज जस्ट अ फिनोमेना व्हिच, बिकॉज उसके पहले बहुत सारा हुआ. ट्रूमैन डॉक्ट्रिन, दे हैड मार्शल डॉक्ट्रिन, राइट? So communism, yes, you can say that escalation of Cold War, they could have prevented many events such as Cuban crisis जो हुआ, right? Cuban crisis जो हुआ, that could have been prevented before only by the interference of United Nations. But overall you can say that United Nations का बस पीस कीपिंग ही मोटिव नहीं है, सोशो इकोनॉमिक growth of an particular individual ये भी है, and that is they are doing it, like you Ebola का like fighting against Ebola, right? Malaria. United Nation Socio-Economic Council, ठीक है, the one which had major success and which is working on this front. You can write in the success of United Nation if a question is asked on United Nations or Atlantic Charter per se. So question आपको Atlantic Charter पे यही आएगा, that regarding what it is related to, what are the, so basically various principles were given even in the terms of modern Indian history. For our modern Indian history, Atlantic Charter also put a pressure on. ये अटलांटिक चार्टर ही था जिसने प्रेशर क्रिएट किया ऑन विंस्टन चर्चिल. दो विंस्टन चर्चिल डिड नॉट एवर wanted to lose the territories in India. उन्होंने चाहा ही नहीं था कि इंडिया की टेरिटरी वो लूज करके in any how. That is why he was delaying things. That is why he sent various small missions and various weak missions. ठीक है. तो विंस्टन चर्चिल जो थे, उन्हों लाइक ही डिड नॉट वांटेड टू lose the Indian territory, ठीक है, and that is why after 1941 देखो Atlantic Charter क्या आया, after this many missions were sent to India. कौन से missions थे, anyone? Cabinet mission, that is the very lead. उसके पहले could you write the question about United Nations? I will now see, that was my own question I have made abhi. My question was that uh, after the Cold War, after the World War II, there hasn't been a phenomena like the World War, but many small issues has taken place, which included conflict between the conflict between nations. So, what do you think that United Nations has succeeded in fulfilling its objective? The question was, do you think that United Nations has succeeded in fulfilling its objective? So that we have discussed. Okay. Yes, Alok, is it fine? Yeah. So yeah. So where were we? We were on Indian. So Atlantic Charter का influence on Indian uh, freedom struggle. So do you think that it had a mission? Yes, a lot of pressure by, हम लोग जब बोलते हैं कि यूएसए का प्रेशर था, what was the pressure? This Atlantic Charter was one of the pressure that was created by the United States on India, on Britain, with regard to the territories in India. Yeah, so you had many missions, right? After this, that was sent to India, and yeah, Cripps mission, Cripps mission tha, then you had cabinet mission after that. So this pressure, this was the Atlantic, but Winston Churchill very cleverly he sent weaker missions as the one who were sent were very weak uh, in putting up their. So these people who were sent in the mission were not that powerful and did not have that much of power to to be on the Indian demand side. ठीक है. So this was the condition with respect to Indian national movement at that time. So I guess this Atlantic Charter is clear. Anyone with any doubt over here? Yes. Any question regarding this? Clear. Clear है? Okay है. Okay. So I guess any question regarding what is inspection क्या होता है ना कि see it may be what is inspection and how is it relevant today? No, inspection यानी कि what will happen is they go through various document ki do we need any changes in this charter, do we need to rectify it, do are there something, because this was the important charter with respect to giving having an open society, having institutions of democracy. So this being the superpowers, what they are doing is they are just creating a setup which will be useful for the future growth of every nation. So just to go through, they have just gone through all these documents. ठीक है. Okay, clear. Any see this अभी इससे related कोई भी question आया तो I guess you will be able to write whether it is in prelims, main examination or your interview, right? So this is the Atlantic Charter, August 14, 1941, President Roosevelt and Winston Churchill, right? So eight different common principles were given. That eight principles also we have seen regarding peace, regarding democracy, social security to people, and how the further development जैसे लोगों का होगा in the particular nations, that also is described in this Atlantic Charter. Is it clear? Okay. So this was a very important topic that was in news regarding your world history. देखो world history से related questions जो आते हैं हमें that have been deepening from the last 2 or 3 years. But uh, now that various things are happening around the globe, so world history topics becomes very important, and not only in terms of world history, this is also in your international relations point of view, this is very important. ठीक है. So now let us move on to second topic of ours, which is known as the roadmap for ethanol blending in India. So what do you understand by ethanol blending? Yes, anyone? Yes, Harini. Use of raw material. Okay. कौन सा raw material? Any raw
So like
material. Yes. Yes, yes, Priya.
so as it was explained in National Biofuel Policy that the raw
No, no, no.
material we
Tell
can
me what.
yes sir.
Tell me what do
So
you
like the
understand by.
so raw material we can say we can use the sugar cane and all the agriculture materials that are there which can use for the production of ethanol sir.
You're telling about what material are to be used. What is ethanol? Basically, ethanol is a biofuel, right?
Yes sir.
कैसे बनाते हैं ये renewable fuel? Yes. How they basically it is made by the fermentation process. किस fermentation by whom? It can be done via yeast, right? Can be done via yeast also. लेकिन किसका fermentation होता है? The sugar that are present in this raw materials. ठीक है, various sugars that are present in this raw materials. ठीक है, so basically what is ethanol? Ethanol is a biofuel. Now what government has did, see petrol और diesel का हम लोग देखते कि we do not produce a lot of petrol or diesel, right? हमारे यहाँ पे what we do is we import this thing. Now what we have to do, अभी इससे problem क्या होता है? What is the problem of we been importing petrol diesel? We have to be dependent on other countries, right? We have to be dependent. पहले तो dependency कि अगर वहां पे if there is a cutout, right? If there is a cutout, for example, naval blockade हो गया, जैसे you know in history, in historical terms, a lot of countries have done. For example, there is economic sanctions on any countries like Iran, right? तो तो पूरा फ्यूल कट ऑफ हो जाता है, राइट? द फ्यूल इज कट ऑफ फ्रॉम इंडिया. सेकेंड थिंग इज द अमाउंट ऑफ मनी हमको जहाँ पे देना पड़ता है. वी हैव टू पे देम अ गुड अमाउंट ऑफ मनी, and that money is according to the price set up by that countries or any organization, right? So we have to pay them, and that will depend upon market fluctuation. Though we have created reserves, though we have created strategic reserves. कितने strategic reserves हैं इंडिया? How many strategic reserves are there? Underground reserves हमने create किए हैं, right? So do go to the new regarding, do collect this information regarding strategic reserves. ठीक है? So हम लोग यहाँ पे show भी करते हैं, but still what happens is we have to pay them money. So we will have to invest in this petroleum, and now so the cost, the storage, so everything becomes a problem. Third thing, very essential is pollution. Yes, pollution. So pollution जो होता है ये, so due to the pollution, CO2, NOx, sulfur, these harmful gases are released by the use of this petroleum products. This petroleum, like petrol, diesel, right? So what government has come up? Government ने कहा कि चलो हम लोग क्या करते हैं, इस पेट्रोल को और डीजल को blend करते हैं. Now what is blending? Blending is mixing. Mixing. Now how? What are they mixing it with? It's some amount of ethanol हम लोग blend करते हैं. Now why ethanol? Because they thought why ethanol and how much ethanol? So 5 to 10% पहले उन्होंने बोला चलो हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं कि 5% से, कि द टोटल अमाउंट फॉर एग्जांपल 1 लीटर में 5% आपका इथेनॉल मिनिमम होना चाहिए, तब स्टार्टिंग में. Now they have increased. Now first on practice basis, test basis they have started. फिर 5% आया, फिर 10% हुआ. Now they have now they came that yes, it is successful. The results are good. The results are showing good. Now what are the results? Results क्या है कि हमने ethanol blending क्यों किया? First is the amount of raw material, material which are getting wasted. जो बायो मटेरियल है जो वेस्ट होते हैं, which are of no use after they have been used, or which are the byproducts of यूज होता है, पहले तो वो यूज में आ जाएगा. सेकेंड थिंग, the pollution that is being generated by only using the petroleum fuel like पेट्रोल या डीजल, वो बहुत कम हो जाएगा. बहुत कम एज इन पूरा will it get neglected or will it decrease to zero? Will the pollution release to zero? The answer is no. The answer is no. CO2 निकलेगा क्या when you are blending it with ethanol? The answer is yes. Answer is yes. So there will be CO2 that will be released even if you are using ethanol. So CO2 जो है वो निकलेगा ही, but the amount will be very less. Will there be any other harmful amount of gases that will be releasing after the uh, use of ethanol blending? The answer is yes. There will be other gases that will be released, harmful gases, but the intensity, the amount which is released is very negligible. Is very negligible. So if a question is asked to you in preliminary exam, जैसे अभी trend आया है कि drastically, completely. So if the word completely is there in the examination, that by using of ethanol, uh, the amount of CO2 and the amount of NOx, sulfur, that will be released will be completely overcome by use of ethanol. Is this statement right? Is this statement right? नो, राइट. सो इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग से कम होगा, लेकिन आपका ये जीरो नहीं होगा. ठीक है. सो दिस इज वन थिंग. सो अभी गवर्नमेंट ने क्या किया कि इथेनॉल ब्लेंडिंग के इतने फायदे हैं, देयर इज सो मच ऑफ प्रॉफिट, सो मच ऑफ benefits that we will be getting after the blending of ethanol. So what we'll do, so now let us have a ethanol, so let us have a नेशनल बायोफ्यूल पॉलिसी। तो इन्होंने क्या किया कि नेशनल बायोफ्यूल पॉलिसी ला ली। कब लाई इन्होंने? 2018 में। So in 2018 they had this national biofuel policy. So they gave a backup to this idea. इस आइडिया को उन्होंने बैकअप कर दिया और सारे OMCs आर ऑयल मार्केटिंग कंपनीज, IOCL, BPCL जो है, उनको बोल दिया कि भाई अभी आप क्या करोगे, यू विल बी फॉलोइंग दिस पॉलिसी। नाउ इन दिस पॉलिसी व्हाट इज देयर? इन दिस पॉलिसी what is there? So they are telling these OMCs to blend their products with some 10% of ethanol. And now in the latest amendment that was done, it has increased the blending to 20%। ठीक है, 20% इन्होंने increase कर दिया, but it will start from a later year। ठीक है, it will start from a later year, yes, by 2030। So this is one thing कि ethanol, so why we are doing this? Because we have to gradually shift to non petroleum based products। ठीक है, जहाँ पे what will happen is जहाँ पे pollution less हो, availability of material less हो, so it will be a renewable source of energy for us। Yes, but now only 10%। अभी तो if the current blending proportion is taken, it was mandatory 10, but now nearly we are able to on an average 8.3 के आसपास हम लोग पहुंचे हैं। ठीक है, normally on an average। ठीक है, so this is regarding the ethanol products। ठीक है, so now we will see। अभी तो now what this now many schemes related to ethanol blending हमने नए नए schemes गवर्नमेंट निकालती है। ठीक है, so new schemes are there, for example PM, yes, प्रधानमंत्री जीवन योजना। so what is this? it gives funding to the OMCs। ठीक है, फंडिंग देते कि अगर आप ये करो, if you want to blend, if you want to purchase biofuels, biomaterials, ठीक है, biomaterials, then we will provide you some funding also। government also by time to time has introduced interest subvention scheme। ठीक है, interest subvention scheme। now what does this mean? this means कि अगर आप लोन लेते हो on for this biofuels, if you are taking some loan, so there will be some kind of concession that will be given to you। अभी कितना subvention है, that you do not have to go into very much of detail, because understanding the concept is important। ठीक है, the data वाला thing you will, you know, when you write your examination, that at that time it is important वो data वाला thing। and you do not have to mention कि कितने परसेंट का subvention है and everyone। so just remember कि interest subvention scheme मतलब क्या, कि basically some kind of concession is given to you। ठीक है, so these are the different things। now अभी ethanol का now what type of material are used for making ethanol? tell me anyone, किस टाइप का मटेरियल यूज होता है एथेनॉल बनाने के लिए? एनीवन? yes yes, jatropha seeds, karanja, sugarcane base, yes, very nice, very nice। now yes, so advice to OMCs to produce ethanol। Now there are some priorities which the government has given। क्या गवर्नमेंट ने कुछ प्रायोरिटी बेसिस के मटेरियल दिए हैं जहां से दिस OMCs, ऑयल मार्केटिंग कंपनीज जो है, वो प्रोडक्ट यूज कर सकते हैं, बट अ प्रायोरिटी से हम लाइक गवर्नमेंट हैज सेड कि यस दिस इज सम प्रायोरिटी व्हिच यू शुड फॉलो। ठीक है, एंड दैट इज जस्ट एन एडवाइस। ठीक है, फर्स्ट इज शुगर। यू मेक द ब्लेंडिंग, you make ethanol from sugar। ठीक है, then you can use sugarcane, you can use sugar syrup, Then B heavy molasses. There is a differentiation between the type of molasses. You do not have to go into that much of detail. C heavy molasses. Then other damaged food grains. Other damaged food grains. ठीक है. Also government क्या करती है? Government what it does? It also gives some kind of amount to for this OMCs for making this ethanol. ठीक है. So for example, it is around 30 rupees per liter. Sorry, 60 rupees per liter abhi. Now why this ethanol blending is useful? One of the major elements हमने देखा कि pollution control. Also second is it will also reduce India's import barrier. है ना, import जो cost है that will also reduce. Now how much of import will it reduce? The E20 program. See, this is also known as E20 program. So it will save around 4 billion USD dollars. That is 30,000 crore per annum. Around इतना हम लोग save कर सकते हैं if we do achieve this kind of. ठीक है. So we have seen this that the roadmap is proposed for a gradual rollout of ethanol blending program. ठीक है, ethanol blended fuel to achieve E10 fuel supply for April 2022 and a phased rollout of E20 from April 23 to 2025. ठीक है. Now this report, now Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, इन्होंने एक expert group prepare किया था so that to study various issues. Now this has given a recommendation that हमने E20 को move करना चाहिए, right? Now uses also we have seen, right? It is a renewable biofuel. It is clear, colorless alcohol. Then various grains, crops, high starch and sugar contained food crops such as corn, sorghum, sugarcane, sugar beets can be used. So I guess this was the similar type of question that was asked in 2018, that which of the elements can be used for the formation of ethanol from various food grains. ठीक है. So read. So this is a suggestion that you once read the national policy on biofuel. ठीक है. So now what government has done? Government of India has advanced the target of 20% ethanol blending in petrol E20 to 2025. अभी पहले ही उन्होंने ला लिया. ठीक है. Now this is under the national policy on biofuel. Now ethanol blending program जो है, what is EEB? It is an ethanol blending program. Now it is undertaken by the OMCs, that is the oil market company. ठीक है. Now this is carried over everywhere except Andaman and Nicobar. And why it is not carried over there? Many logistic issues. ठीक है. अभी जीवन योजना, PM G1 योजना, this is the central government provides viability gap funding to second generation bioethanol manufacturer projects. What is viability gap funding? कि अगर आपको फंडिंग में इशू आ रहा है तो what we'll do, we'll provide you some kind of funding. ठीक है. Now currently 8.5, yes, government will provide the funding. So 8.5% of the ethanol is blended with petrol in India. ठीक है. ऑब्जेक्टिव्स क्या है? एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी. एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी हमने जैसे बोला कि वी विल, हमारा जो इंपोर्ट है वो हमारा लेस हो जाएगा. वी विल एबल टू सेव अराउंड 30,000 crores per year, right? Second is the incentives to farmer. Obviously some incentives to farmer will be given over here. Now advice हमने देख लिया है कि what are the priority basis. First is sugarcane related products that can be used. Yes. Then heavy molasses, that is B type, C type, and then are the damaged food grains that can be used on that can be used on for ethanol blending. ठीक है. Now what are the impact on emission? Emission के हमने देख लिया कि decrease CO, decrease hydrocarbons and decrease nitrous oxides. ठीक है, with respect to the normal petrol. ठीक है. Now if there can be a question regarding what other recommendations can you be what are the different, so there can be a question on ethanol blending as to how you can achieve this, by 2025. By 2025, any suggestions? Any suggestions? See, ये जो expert committee है, the expert committee has given various recommendations. Now what are the various recommendations given by expert committee? Obviously expert committee बोलेगी कि they have told that you should give a different roadmap कि older vehicles कैसे adopt करेंगे, right? In older vehicles maybe the engine system is are they compatible with the ethanol blending? नहीं तो engine खराब हो जाएगा, right? So BS6, yes. So which engine? So it has told that there should be a proper roadmap for different vehicles, for different. Now augmenting infrastructure for oil marketing companies. Oil marketing companies will need to prepare for the projected requirement of ethanol storage, handling, blending and dispensing infrastructure. The ethanol which is being produced has to be stored at a particular temperature. So ये temperature क्या, if the amount is now increasing, do they have the infrastructure facility? Do all the OMCs have? Do they have the storage facilities? So this have to be checked before, because क्या होता है कि if in terms of if the production is now increased, so they will face this logistic issue. That is why they have to be prepared for that. ठीक है. Regulatory clearances. Now whatever the regulatory clearances है, उसके लिए भी they will have to look for that also. Incentivizing ethanol blended vehicle. Yes, this is also a very good recommendation that was given by the expert committee, that agar if the vehicle is incentivized, why will not the user take the ethanol blended fuel, right? So incentivize that. You can also incentivize the petrol pumps, the fuel pumps, right? The fuel pumps which are providing the uh, biofuels, right? So obviously there is some incentive that is being given. Tax breaks on ethanol as fuel may be considered by the government. ठीक है. Pricing of ethanol blended vehicle for better acceptability of higher ethanol blends in the country. Retail price of such fuel should be lower than normal petrol to compensate for the reduction in the calorific value. ठीक है. So these are the things associated with ethanol blending. My advice would be to read the my advice would be to read the National Biofuel Policy of 2018. Biofuel Policy of 2018, because everything we cannot cover in a single lecture, which is of 1.5 hour. So do read this. Second thing is, in this also do read all the materials that can be used for biofuels, for making biofuel. All the materials that can be used for making biofuels, जो भी आप बना सकते हो वो यहाँ पे देख लो. It is everything is given in the National Biofuel Policy. ठीक है. Because agriculture के जो questions हैं, the question on agriculture in the past couple of years have been increasing. So agriculture के questions increase हो रहे, and this is also related to agriculture also. See what the stubble burning का जो issue है regarding the pollution in majorly in northern India, the stubble burning in North India. So one of the best solution to avoid the stubble burning is to have localized biofuel plants. Now what advantage do you get by localized biofuel plants? कि आपको गवर्नमेंट परचेसेस दिस फ्रॉम फार्मर्स. यस, गवर्नमेंट डू परचेसेस, बट लोकलाइज्ड अगर आपके बायोफ्यूल प्लांट्स होंगे तो व्हाट विल हैपन इज दे कैन डायरेक्टली गिव इट टू द ओएमसीज, राइट? They can give, or OMCs can create this local biofuel plants, right? Logistic cost cut हो जाता है, employment generation, right? Employment generation and this double burning का जो issue है वो पूरा reduce हो जाता है, ठीक है? This double burning can be directly controlled, right? This double burning can be directly controlled. So बहुत सारी issues आपके resolve हो जाते हैं by localized biofuel plants. Now again another thing to be to consider is the first generation bio. What do you understand by first generation, second generation? So that also you just look after this. The first generation biofuels क्या होते हैं, right? That is also given in the biofuel policy. First generation biofuel, second generation biofuel, third generation, right? So just look after this, ठीक है? अंडरस्टूड? ये टॉपिक इतना समझ में आया? व्हाट इज स्टबल बर्निंग? ओ, व्हाट इज स्टबल बर्निंग? सी द रॉ मटेरियल दैट the material that is left after the grains or after the cotton, after the bajra grains, that is removed from the particular crop, जो उसके बाद जो बचता है that is stubble. ठीक है फातिमा? ओके. Waste part after cutting the crop is stubble. Yes, waste part after cutting the crop is stubble. For example, आपने cotton निकाल लिया, the waste that is remaining is cotton. So it is stubble. Grains का जो होता है husk, that is stubble. So the stubble ऐसा ही नहीं कि that is only can be used in biofuel, और उनके briquettes भी बनाते हैं, ठीक है? Lot of companies in India are now moving to the biodegradable briquettes also. ठीक है? This husk जो होते हैं, grains के husk होते हैं, they can be used. Just wait a minute, I will tell you. Yeah, the husk can be used to make briquettes. Can be used to make briquettes, and these briquettes have a very high calorific value. Okay? High calorific value. Calorific value, and this can be used in the boilers. ठीक है? बॉयलर का जो नीचे का फर्नेंस होता है, जहां से हीट निकलती है, which heats the water to create steam. So this can be used. Yeah, thermal power plants. No, not only thermal power plants, even if you go to any of the plant that has the requirement of steam, जहाँ पे steam की requirement होती है. So it is not that only thermal power plants has the requirement of steam. There are many industries. For example, food processing industry में, if you take the food that is, if you take the for example, you have maza, you want to make fruity. So what they do is they first make the syrup, right? तो सिरप बनाने के बाद जो मटेरियल बनाते हैं, राइट? देन दी पाउडर इज एडेड, then the mixture is added. Now the mixture is now it is in the cold form. Now to heat the bacteria, yeah, to kill the bacteria or kill any of the substance, it is heated. Now how they are heated? They are heated when they are passed through various uh, fins, right? Various fins. So around it steam is now passed through it. ठीक है, उसके बाजू से steam pass होती है, and this is how this inside liquid get heated when steam is passed above it. ठीक है, जैसे for example this is the this is the cold material which is to be heated, and here in this pipe around here इससे बाजू से क्या पास होगा, स्टीम पास होगा, steam pass होगी. So this material inside this will get heated with the heat of the steam. और उस steam को कैसे produce होगा? This steam will be produced in the boiler. And how the boiler में से steam produce होगा? When the पानी जब heat होगा. And how the पानी will be heated? When heat is generated. And how that heat will be generated? When the furnace पे जो material है वो burn होगा. Now to burn this, first they were using coal. Now coal को replace करने के लिए various briquettes are used, briquettes which have a high calorific value, briquettes. Now this briquettes can be made from the husk, that is from the grains के ऊपर का जो टर्फल होता है उससे बनाते हैं. ठीक है, so this husk can be used to make this briquettes. Understood? मैंने so we have covered a lot of topics over here. ठीक है, ऐसे ही नहीं कि इथेनॉल हमने कवर किए, how this stubble burning can be stopped, how this material can be used to handle the pollution, how localized uh, how you can use this localized biofuel plants, right? Biofuel plants localized भी कैसे बना सकते हैं, that also we have seen, right? So understood this topic? Yes, everyone clear है? Any doubt, Deepak? Clear है? Yes, Priya? Yes, okay, fine. Yeah, so we have seen many things regarding ethanol वाला part अभी, ठीक है? Now let us move to some yeah. So this editorial was in news. So terror in the Sahel region. Terror in the Sahel region. Basically, what happened was the Sahel region. Now, this was in news. So here, the increasing amount of terrorism over here is in news from the last from the 2015, but it has escalated to a new high in the last couple of weeks. So 2015 से ही हम देखते हैं कि यहाँ पे टेररिज्म एक्टिविटी इंपॉर्टेंट है. तो हमारे लिए इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है? What is important from our perspective, from UPSC perspective, is the growing issue of terrorism. ठीक है. The second is the area in news, the places in news. What is this? ठीक है, अब ये बर्किनो फासो, here the Sahel region, ठीक है, and the increasing amount of increasing. So where is the Sahel region? See, so here if you see the Sahel region, okay, so this is the Sahel region. Yes, Mali, Niger, and all this area are included in the Sahel. Basically, if you go south of this, you go south of this. Just wait a second. Yeah. Yes. So Sahel is the eco-climatic and biogeographical rim of transition in Africa between Sahara to the north and Sudanian savanna to the south. So Sudanian savanna are to the south, and uh, you have Sahara desert to the north. So basically, it's a transition zone that is from the Sahara to the savanna, right? So it is having a semi-arid climatic condition. Okay, and it stretches across the south central latitudes of northern Africa between Atlantic Ocean and the Red Sea. तो यहाँ से पूरा Red Sea तक that is divided. ठीक है. Now the Sahel part includes west to east part of northern Senegal, Mauritania, Mali, Burkina Faso, Algeria, Nigeria. You have Cameroon, Chad, Sudan, Eritrea, and northern Ethiopia. So ये सारे parts. So if we consider, so this part majorly ये पूरा पार्ट this वाला part is known as Sahel region. ठीक है, Sahel region. See, this part is known as Sahel region. ठीक है, अभी हो क्या रहा है? So basically यहाँ पे the growth of the Islamic terrorist groups is on rise. Not only one, but many small groups have been identified over here, which are creating a chaos for the a havoc for the people over there. Mali ho, Niger ho, Chad ho, Sudan ho, everything this is under control. Now they are destroying a lot of cities over there. They are disrupting the socio and economic activity of the people in here. So the type of system is there become is anarchic that no rule no government. ठीक है, ऐसे या फिर everyone rules every government. ठीक है, ऐसे वाला situation that is arising in this part of the country. Now what is important हमारे लिए is the Burkina Faso. ठीक है, Burkina Faso we have seen. ठीक है, so this part in the yeah, this part is known as the Burkina Faso, where the major event of terrorist activity is now going on. ठीक है, यहाँ पे the intensity is more. कहाँ पे? Burkina Faso. Now there is also a region in so Boko Haram, जो हम terrorist group का नाम, the militant activist group that we hear in news. Yes, Boko Haram, right? So it is mostly concentrated in this region. ठीक है, in this region. So in this region it is mostly concentrated. ठीक है, so this was just to make you understand what is Sahel region, what is Burkina Faso, where it is. So it's in Western Africa. अगर आपको क्वेश्चन अगर आता है, so the question would be here it will be only match the following can become like previously it is asked in many of the examination like UPSC prelims 2019 it is asked that the places in news. In 2018 they have asked, 2020 they have asked. So this can be a question that the Burkina Faso in news is related to which places, Africa, Asia, South America. So the answer to this is, so the answer is yes. Where it is? Yes, it is in Western Africa. ठीक है, Western Africa में है ये. ठीक है, so is it clear? You do not need to, yeah, main examination perspective there can be a question related to the growing terrorism, that the activity of terrorist activity or the escalation of violence in many parts of the world has been seen recently. For example, in Africa, in Palestine, in Syria, right? So question can be, recently there has been escalation of violence in many places in Africa, in Syria, Israel, Palestine, in Syria. So question can be what measures can be taken, what measures can be taken to mitigate or to reduce the escalation of war, to reduce the escalation of war. Tell me very quickly, what are the different ways in which this escalation can be reduced? Tell me fast. Peaceful negotiations between stakeholders. Okay, that is one. See, you can divide your answer. If you want to divide your answer, you can be divide your answer such as structural measures, right? You can write regarding structural measures. Second is institutional measures. Institutional measures. Institutional measures. Third is political measures, right? Political measures. Fourth is like structural changes means, for example, if there is some changes have to made, for example, UNSC में अगर आप कुछ changes करते हो structural changes में, the one who are permanently there, अगर आप सबको representation, तो maybe ऐसे escalations जो है आगे चल के नहीं होंगे, everyone will have an equal say. Institutional measures, they work done by the various institutions such as United Nations, right? They can have a peace negotiation treaty or peace negotiation group which will every time अगर ऐसा कुछ होता है तो maybe they can be the one who can approach them, right? Or various institutional measures such as if in case of BRICS countries, so BRICS group will be there, right? Political measures, talks between the leaders of the groups which are in the escalation at that time, right? सो दिस टाइप ऑफ मेजर्स आपको सब हेडिंग्स देना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाता है बिकॉज इट गिव्स अ क्लियर पिक्चर ऑफ व्हाट यू आर थिंकिंग ऑन दैट प्रोसेस. सो आपका प्रोसेस का जो थिंकिंग वे है दैट इज वेरी क्लियर. ठीक है, understood this topic. So whenever you are reading some kind of current affairs wala news, or whenever you are reading even the normal news, normal related topic, think from the perspective ki what kind of questions can be expected on this topic. So expected questions jo hai, that you make a list about that expected questions, and then you can have you can write on that. ठीक है. So yeah, so the next topic is related to election commission. Election commissioner. What is the news regarding election commission? Basically, new election commissioner appoint हुए हैं, and this was in news regarding that. So that is why we'll have to study regarding election commission. So election commission, is it a constitutional body or a statutory body? It's a constitutional body. Yes, it's a constitutional body under Article 3 to 4. ठीक है. So Constitution का कौन सा article है जब according to which the election commission supervises and functions? So the Constitution under Constitution का Article 3 to 4, 324, it provides for election commission of India. ठीक है, and it provides for election commission for superintendence, direction and control and preparation of electoral roll for the conduction of elections to parliament, state legislature, and to the office of president and vice president, right? Vice president. ठीक है. So this yes, and but ये तो हुआ इलेक्शन कमीशन ऑफ इंडिया. स्टेट लेजिस्लेटिव पंचायत के इलेक्शंस किसके अंडर होता है? State Election Commission. Oh yes. So local panchayat, the that happens under the purview of State Election Commission. ठीक है. Now what is the composition of the Election Commission of India? How many members are there? 3 members. Is it given in the constitution? No. It is. Is it 3 जो members है? Is it given under the constitution? No. So the election commission shall be consist of the election commissioner and number of other commissioners if and as the president may time from time fix. So this is upon the president कि कितने election commissioners होने चाहिए. ठीक है. So the constitution says that कि chief election commissioner होना चाहिए and other commissioners which the president may think. ठीक है. और अपॉइंटमेंट कौन करता है इनका? are made by the president. ठीक है. So president अपॉइंट करते हैं इलेक्शन कमिश्नर को and he is the one who thinks कि कितने नंबर होने चाहिए. Right? This is clear. Now अगर 3 मेंबर्स हैं तो इज द चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर द हेड और चीफ इलेक्शन कमिश्नर टेक्स द मेजॉरिटी ऑफ द डिसीजन कि क्या उनका जो वीटो है उनका जो डिसीजन है वो अदर मेंबर से इट इज अबव देम. इज इट अबव देम? आर हिज पावर्स अबव द इलेक्शन? क्या चीफ इलेक्शन कमीशन के पावर्स ग्रेटर देन इलेक्शन कमिश्नर होते हैं? The answer to this is no. ठीक है. The answer to this is no. Why? Because the powers of chief election commissioner and election commissioner are one and the same. They are not different. जो भी decisions वहां पे होना होता है that is taken by majority. Majority से decisions होते हैं in election commission. ठीक है. Now regarding the tenure, what is the tenure of election commission? Is it fixed or ये भी president decide करते हैं? The condition of service and tenure office of the election commission and regional commissioner officers should be decided by the president as the president may by rule determine. So this is one of the drawbacks also, है ना? ये drawbacks भी है election commission का, the issues which are held. So the tenure of office is 6 years or till the age of 65, whichever is earlier. They can resign before the time of their expiry also. ठीक है. And removal कैसा होता है उनका? On the same ground as the judge of the Supreme Court, right? Judge of the Supreme Court. Now, what are the limitations? What are the limitations? It has not prescribed the qualification, the legal, education, administrative or judicial. कैसा भी हो, ठीक है. Has it mentioned is no, that has not been mentioned. So the qualification regarding the qualification of election commissioner कितना होना चाहिए, क्या होना चाहिए, has it been prescribed? No, that is not been prescribed, and it has not debarred the retiring election commissioner from any work in the future appointment with the governments. ठीक है. So ये this is regarding the election commission of India. Now yes. Now recently what happened, now see, a lot of questions in your environment has been coming from the previously has been coming from the part of national parks कि national parks से आपको बहुत सारे important questions आते हैं, and especially when it comes to your northeast part, many of the confusions happen in that. ठीक है. So recently Assam government ने what it did, it identified Dehing Patkai as the 7th national park of the state. ठीक है. It was created shortly after in western Assam. In western Assam's Kakrajhar district was upgraded to national park 6th. Okay. It has notified Dehing Patkai. Now where is Dehing Patkai? आपको डिब्रूगढ़ पे can it डिब्रूगढ़? So it's south. Okay. डिब्रूगढ़ and तिनसुकिया, यहाँ it is between this डिब्रूगढ़ and तिनसुकिया. ठीक है. Anyone तो इस एरिया है which Dehing Patkai. Now regarding national, what is national park? Can be voice is breaking. Yes. अभी clear है? Now is it clear? Yes. Just wait a second. Yeah. Is it clear now? In national park, do we is any activity allowed in the national park? National park और वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी में डिफरेंस क्या होता है? No, yes. No activity is human activity is permitted inside the national park. ठीक है? Inside the national park, no activity is permitted unless permitted by the chief wildlife warden. ठीक है? अगर वो अलाउ नहीं करते तो not permitted. Yes, wildlife sanctuary के अंदर आप there can be some human activity. There can be some human activity but not in the national park. So this is the difference between national park and your wildlife sanctuary. Now regarding this Dehing Patkai National Park. See, Dehing Patkai National Park. तो किसने who notified it? The state government actually can notify this as national park. ठीक है? Now this Dehing National Park. So it is located in the Dehing Patkai Elephant Reserve. ठीक है. कौन से डिस्ट्रिक्ट को स्प्रेड होता है ये? Between Dibrugarh and Tinsukia. Now the oldest refinery of Asia, that is the Digboi and open cast coal mining at Lido, are located near this sanctuary. So the Digboi refinery is located near this illegal coal mining was happening in that location. ठीक है? Yes. So Digboi का जो oldest refinery है, that is located near this location. ठीक है? Now Dehing का नाम कैसे आया? तो basically Dehing Patkai, Dehing is the name of the river that flows through the forest. ठीक है? Dehing river है and Patkai is the hill at the foot of which the sanctuary lies. यानी कि पतकई हिल्स है, पतकई के हिल्स के नीचे this sanctuary lies. ठीक है? Now what are the different kind of animals we can found over here? तो Chinese pangolin, okay? Chinese pangolin, the flying fox, the Malayan giant squirrel, Malayan giant squirrel, barking deer, gaur, sirau, wild pigs. ठीक है? These are the different animals that can be found in this area. Now it is also the only sanctuary in India where it is home to 7 different species of wild cats. So 7 different species of cats are present here. It is the highest concentration of rare endangered white winged wood duck. ठीक है? Do remember this key. It has the highest concentration of rare endangered white winged wood duck. Okay. Now similarly, this Raimona National Park. Now where it is located? It is located in the Bodoland Territorial Region. कहाँ पे located है ये? Bodoland Territorial Region. Now it includes the notified repu forest reserve forest, ठीक है, which is near the Manas National Park, ठीक है, Manas National Park. Now it is bounded to the west by the Sankosh River and Saralbhanga River on the east, ठीक है. Now here, what are the flora and fauna? Now we are talking about the Raimona National Park, ठीक है. So it is famous for golden langurs, an endemic species which has been named as the mascot of Bodoland region, ठीक है. अभी यहाँ पे this Raimona National Park, this had golden langurs, ठीक है. It also has Asian elephants, ठीक है, and Royal Bengal tigers, clouded leopards, Indian gaur, wild water buffalo, spotted deer, hornbill. So ये सारे animals भी you can spot in this national park, ठीक है. So regarding national park, Assam ke national park, do read regarding Assam's national park today. Whenever after the lecture you get time, do read regarding 7 national parks and read regarding their locations. Location is important. What are the different? See, this is not what I feel you should read. This is on the basis of what the question has been there in the previous year. Read regarding if there is any important river that is flowing उसमें से, ठीक है, any specific flora fauna for what it is famous, that is very important. Flora or fauna अगर वो किसी एक चीज के लिए famous है तो that you should read regarding that. Understood? So national parks are important, and do revise national parks again and again. 2-3 days में आपने revise करना चाहिए, because specifically 2-3 questions every year has been asked only on national park. कि national parks हैं और उनका location क्या है? What are the different things related to national park? Which climatic zone is it there? Is it tropical? Is it temperate zone? ठीक है. So which are the type of forest present over there? Forest कौन सा present है? So it is very important from UPSC prelims perspective. ठीक है. अभी many a question in examination have been on reports, कि आपको दिया जाता है कि what there is some kind of reports दिया जाता है, and which is the organization that is publishing this report. So one or two question are there every year. So global livability index, ग्लोबल लिवेबिलिटी इंडेक्स. सो किसका इंडेक्स है ये? तो इकोनॉमिस्ट इंटेलिजेंस यूनिट, दैट इज EIU इकोनॉमिस्ट इंटेलिजेंस यूनिट्स. इनका इन्होंने व्हाट दे पब्लिश दिस ग्लोबल लिवेबिलिटी इंडेक्स. ग्लोबल लिवेबिलिटी इंडेक्स नाम से ही पता चल जाता है कि हाउ इज द कंडीशन ऑफ लिवेबिलिटी इन दैट पर्टिकुलर सिटीज, ठीक है. सो व्हाट दिस ग्लोबल लिवेबिलिटी इंडेक्स क्या करता है? इट हैज वेरियस पैरामीटर्स, क्वालिटेटिव एज वेल एज क्वालिटेटिव फैक्टर्स, और उसके जो कैटेगरीज है, द कैटेगरीज सराउंड्स अराउंड स्टेबिलिटी. हाउ इज द स्टेबिलिटी in that particular city? What are the healthcare facilities available? How is the culture and environment in that particular city? How is the education in that city? How are the infrastructure developed in that particular area? ठीक है. अभी what happened was कि इसमें after the pandemic, ये पैंडेमिक में इन्होंने नए पैरामीटर्स ऐड किए, ठीक है, इन दी हेल्थ केयर. जैसे हेल्थ केयर में उन्होंने इंट्रोड्यूस किया कि व्हाट आर द स्ट्रेस ऑन पीपल दैट पीपल आर सफरिंग, राइट, ड्यू टू restrictions, ड्यू टू लॉकडाउन्स, ठीक है. ये नए पैरामीटर्स ऐड किए, एंड व्हाट हैपेंड वाज द सिटीज व्हिच वेर ऑन द very good, they were scoring very good numbers in the last couple of years, unka score suddenly they fell down. For example, you can take the city of Vienna, ठीक है. It fell out of their first 10 spots. ठीक है, so that is not important for us. Our importance should be कि which is the organization economic intelligence unit. ठीक है, ग्लोबल लिवेबिलिटी इंडेक्स, एंड व्हाट आर द डिफरेंट पैरामीटर्स, ये पैरामीटर्स है, ये कैटेगरीज है, एंड द परसेंटेज द शोन इज द वेटेज गिवन टू दैट पैरामीटर. स्टेबिलिटी, हेल्थ केयर, कल्चर एंड एनवायरनमेंट, एजुकेशन, इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर, एंड इसमें अभी नया स्ट्रेस ऑन द पीपल दैट आर देयर, दैट इज एडेड. सो ओवरऑल द लिवेबिलिटी का जो है स्कोर सबका डिक्लाइन हुआ ही है, and there are a lot of changes in the previous year and this year. So yes, New Zealand's New Zealand's Auckland city, the Auckland city has stopped this year. Okay, has stopped this year. So this was in news. So that is why. And Damascus, yes, Damascus. Where is Damascus? Anyone? Damascus, सीरिया. यस, दमस्कस कहाँ है? सीरिया में. सो दमस्कस रिमेन्स द वर्ल्ड्स लीस्ट लिवेबिलिटी सिटी. क्वेश्चन ये नहीं पूछेगा आपको कि कौन सी मोस्ट लिवेबल सिटी है या लिवेबिलिटी. यू शुड रिमेम्बर वेयर इज ऑकलैंड. वेयर इज ऑकलैंड?
न्यूजीलैंड सर.
यस, न्यूजीलैंड. वेरी नाइस. सो न्यूजीलैंड. सो दिस प्लेसेस टू रिमेम्बर में आपको याद रखना है. एंड दमस्कस, Damascus is in Syria, right? So these two important places you do remember. Yeah, so we'll just cover one of the latest topic is regarding Bitcoin. What do you understand by Bitcoins? What do you understand by Bitcoins? Basically cryptocurrency होती है ये, है ना? These are some cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency का हम in detail next class में भी लेंगे, because this is in news. This is a cryptocurrency. Now what is cryptocurrency? They are supposition of India in this report is relevant. No, not very relevant. It is not about city. See, the global livability index, that was not with respect to the nations, it was with respect to cities. ठीक है, तो cities के बारे में आपको important नहीं है वो. The only important thing is कि who publishes the global livability index. So it is the intelligence, economic intelligence unit. Now the question, now the Bitcoin was in news. Now why this was in news? कि the country अल साल्वाडोर, कौन सी कंट्री? अल साल्वाडोर. ये कहाँ पे ये कंट्री है सेंट्रल अमेरिका में. नॉर्थ अमेरिका यू हैव साउथ अमेरिका. दिस ईयर जो पैच बना हुआ है, ठीक है, दिस इज सेंट्रल अमेरिका. ईयर इट इज सो ईयर अ कंट्री ईयर अल साल्वाडोर. अब अल साल्वाडोर ने क्या किया कि इट हैज बिकम द फर्स्ट कंट्री इन द वर्ल्ड टू एक्सेप्ट बिटकॉइन एज लीगल टेंडर. यानी कि इसने बिटकॉइन को परमिशन दे दी है फॉर यूज इन द कंट्री एज लीगल टेंडर. ठीक है, एज लीगल टेंडर. नाउ सो दिस इज इन न्यूज. सो प्रीलिम्स वाला डायरेक्टली आपसे क्वेश्चन पूछ सकते हैं. अ क्वेश्चन कैन बी दैट द कंट्री which has the first country in the world to adopt bitcoin as legal tender. ठीक है, so it is El Salvador. So where is El Salvador? You can see over here that this is North Pacific Ocean, Caribbean Sea. This is Central America. This is Central America. So this is El Salvador. So places in news में आपको you can be asked. Now what it has done? It has given permission to use Bitcoin as legal tender. Now what is Bitcoin? Short में देख लेंगे हम today. Bitcoin are digital currency basically. ठीक है, they are cryptocurrency, digital currency. Yes, it is a digital currency. ठीक है, They are cryptocurrency. See, the use, basically we are short of time, so what we'll do is we'll cover it, ये वाला part बस, and yes, people. Yes, we are short of time. So yes, बस इतना न्यूज आप जान लो कि अल साल्वाडोर बिकम द फर्स्ट कंट्री टू अडॉप्ट बिटकॉइन एज लीगल टेंडर, है ना, लीगल टेंडर एज बिटकॉइन उन्होंने एक्सेप्ट कर लिया. व्हाट इज बिटकॉइन? इट इज अ डिजिटल करेंसी. इट इज आल्सो अ क्रिप्टो करेंसी. क्रिप्टो करेंसी. क्रिप्टोकरेंसी विच रिक्वायर्स एनक्रिप्शन डेटा, राइट. एनक्रिप्शन डेटा जिसको लगता है, यानी कि अगर आपको आने के लिए यू विल रिक्वायर अ कोड टू ब्रेक इट, अ कोड टू ब्रेक द करेंसी, राइट. एनक्रिप्शन, एंड टू एंड एनक्रिप्शन होता है, right, which requires a code to break it, and this uses blockchain technology. कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी? ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी it is using blockchain technology. So in the next lecture we will cover this blockchain technology also. I will also tell you about cryptocurrency in the next lecture, right. So I will suggest you to read once regarding this also, have the basic idea. I will cover it in detail in the next lecture. ठीक है? Understood everybody? तो सारे टॉपिक्स जो हमने कवर किए आई गेस वो अच्छे से कवर किया है. As we are short of time, we will be covering this blockchain technology, cryptocurrency in the next lecture. Whenever we will start, may it be any topic, first I will cover this topic. ठीक है? Okay, then thank you everybody. I guess you have understood every topic of today in detail. Isn't? Yes. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Have a nice day. Be safe.